let's see. I always do this. It is Sunday, August 28th. Penny and I are on our way to Sam Houston, leaving the house just now. It's 6:18 in the morning. Found a spot online close to my house. As you'll know, I live closer to the public lands around here. Been doing some aerial scouting, got a spot real close to the road. My buddy Jarrett was like, man, let's find a spot close to the road. So I've been on a mission to find a heavily trafficked deer area, and I think I found one. We're about to dive in head first to see what we can do. So y'all stay tuned. So we've only made it, not even, almost halfway to how far we're going. And Penny's scaring all the deer out. So we're probably gonna have to find a new spot. But we're gonna get down here and still look at this and see what happens. So one deer busted us. That's okay. Maybe if I go back to that bedding back there. But we're on our way back. Y'all stay tuned. I found a spot where 5 ridges drop down into a creek bottom. We're on our way back, as I told you this morning. It's really thick on this ridge, but it's full of beautyberry. It's got some oaks in here and lots of pines. And I told her these pine thickets, and just like I told Jarrett, they're gonna bed in the pine, they're gonna fall out the pines, they're gonna drop down into these oak flats, and they're gonna feed out towards private. We're parked at the edge of a gate. That's not where I plan on parking, just using it for access today. Come here, let me show you what I got here. So I found a buck bed, and this trail was pretty heavily used. It comes from over here and behind Penny, and it's pretty heavily worn down trail. If you come over here, and if you get down about to the 4-foot level, you could see, there he is. There he is. He was just bedded right over there. See that? All right. So that's definitely a deer. I'm in really good deer bedding, and he's been listening to us come in probably for over 60 yards. We've been really loud. Found a couple heavily used trails going east to west over the ridge. I'm positive that this is a buck bedding, and I'm going to mark this as bedding for the simple fact we just pushed one out of the bed over there. If you look, the deer trail comes down right here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it goes where this limb goes under, and it goes underneath all the way to the back. If you kind of take a step to your right, you can see. I'm trying to show the trail that he's taken in. You see it? All right, now look at this. How big is this deer? How do I know how big this deer is? Is he a good deer? So we got a small track right here. It's a little old, just probably like 2 fingers wide. And then, if you look on the buck trail, where was it? I step on it. There's one track in here that's over 3 fingers wide. Let's see if we can find another one. Follow me. I found a bed, so we're gonna go check it out. I was walking this way. Here we go. Let's move this stick out of the way. All right. It's old, but even with old, 3 fingers wide, right there. And if you look just off where these limbs hang over, I'm walking, come with me, and I'm looking where this deer's walking. I look over, and right where it's hanging over, right here at the base of this tree, you look, come on in, we got a deer bed. It's bare to the ground, it's pressed down, and if you look right here, you can see his tracks, wider than 3 fingers when he's got in here before he laid down. So there's 2 ways he can go about it. He's coming this way, he's going to this way. I think because most of the tracks are going this way. He's coming in, and he's laying down right here. And how I know this is if you look right here, here's his tracks from when he gets up and he's walking out down towards the ridge, towards the oaks. So he's laying in here. He's got this thick wall of brush behind him, all right? He can hear anything coming. And he's sitting there and he's laying down and he's looking this way. And if you come in here, get in here, and you lay down and you look this way towards the pine and to the left of the pine, he can see about 60-70 yards down the ridge. That's his view down the ridge. So it's great textbook bedding. Textbook bedding. So what do I do here from here on out? We just pushed a deer out of the bed, less than probably 60 yards. I'll probably walk over there and go find it real quick, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take our tools, mark my location. This location has been marked. Click on it, edit, bedding, and that would be right here. Save. So we're gonna probably leave that alone. We know this is a bedding area. Let's follow it to the food source and water source now and see what we got down in the bottom. So we haven't even made it down this ridge yet. We're right in between two of the creeks, and there's another big trail that's going east to west off this ridge. If you look down, we got this heavily defined trail. I got some nice deer tracks. I don't think this is fishy, but there's a rub, and it's telling me that probably the bedding area up here, this is the edge of this bedding area. Rubs always lead to bedding. So I think we're on to a buck. I don't think it'll be long until we hang the camera. We're gonna follow this thing down and then drop down the ridge to the main creek. I need to find these oaks. There's plenty of them in here in these pines, but nothing mature enough to be dropping what I'm looking for. So they're really hitting the beauty berries hard in here. A lot of the beauty berries are browsed down, about 4 foot down. So let's go see what else we can find. This is a little too good of sign not to just do a whole follow through. So that trail where that rub is, it comes down and it's got good deer tracks in it. I mean, good buck tracks. Follow me as we find out where he's sleeping. We're a month out from deer season. These deer are used to pressure. It's okay to blow them out. Just don't come back until it's time to hunt. What I like about this little spot right here is this trail comes and it splits into a Y. It goes right in between. I'm in the middle of it. Heavy tracks going over here to the left. Heavy tracks, and the heavier trail is on this side, and it's going back up the ridge where that deer just blew out of that bed. I bet you it takes us back to that bed. Let's go look. I try not to walk on the trail too much because they can smell that for weeks on end. So I try to parallel it. I'll look at it. I'll look the sign all around it and be looking for the bed as it's cruising down the trail. Come down this one. And the way I like to tell people is, how do I know if it's a buck or not? Well, a doe, she can go through a little narrow space, but a buck, if he's got a rack, it's got to be able to fit between the brush. He doesn't want it getting hung up and caught on every branch. And if you look, this trail, about coming around, he could fit through here. Or if you're in tall grass or tall beauty berries, the limbs will be broken from how many times this rack goes through to his bedding area. Keep following. Come over here to this tree, see if we can find some browse. Nothing really fresh, but everything growing back, especially off these tips. These are things that he probably chewed over the years. We found a lot of browse coming back. That's old. When we find some, though, we're going to point it out so we can show you. This is a beauty berry, though. See the berries growing on it, by the way? So, oh, there you go. It's rebudding from where he bit it off maybe over the summer. All right, let's go look. Wide enough to get through here. I don't know. Smaller deer. So another thing I'm noticing is we're right on the edge of the crest of the hill, and it's really thick to my left over here, and it's really open down here on the right. And if you look, there's dang near a trail that he can see straight down as he's walking. This is very common for a buck. He'd rather not walk through the middle, feel exposed. He'd like to have that cover on both sides of him as he's cruising through. So it's a pretty good indicator. This could be a good buck trail. well. Man, I think a lot of this you can all hear though. Those cracks aren't on this one. I don't think this is it, but keep going. This way, right here. Bro, it's definitely deer. Yeah, dude. This is gonna bring us right back to where we jumped that other one. There's this track there. Gotta be out that close to where he's shooting. Nope, he's dropping down the ridge, going the other way here. Not seeing him yet. He's back out on the open here though. There you go. There's the fresh browse right there. A bit off the tip. Eating these beauty berries as they're walking down. We got two trails converging here. Right here. And there's an old rub on this tree right here. So if you remember, when we came back from the other way, the old rub was coming this way, and now we're dropping down this ridge, it's coming up. So if you think about it, they're going like this, and that's where we just pushed them out of bedding. So you start adding all the pieces together. Oh man, this one's coming this way, that one's coming this way. Look at the map. You're like, dang, they're converging up on this ridge. Pretty good idea. Probably a natural buck nest up in here. In the pines. I'm almost to the oaks though, because it's starting to open up down here. Alright guys, so I'm actually looking at onyx where we've been hugging the edge of a transition this whole time. To the left is a pine thicket. To my right is a creek, and then there's another pine thicket. So this deer trail comes right between both. And in my opinion, a buck would do this specifically to catch the bedding, be in between two bedding areas and trying to find the does in them, smelling them as they cross in between them. There's a heavily used trail that's coming right down here. Now I know probably an armadillo's used this recently, but I know this is also a deer trail. And if you look right here between these two trees, pretty good indicator that a buck rack has to fit right through that hole to get down to the bottom where the creek is. So I think we're just gonna keep following this. Maybe we'll find some more buck sign. There's tons of browse in here still. So that's a perfect example. Just look over here to my left. That's that wall of pine starting, and it opens up as we drop down. If you get down on knee level and you look, it's just starting to get real clear. You can see a real good way. So this will be the hunting zone. You just got to try to catch the deer in between the bedding areas. So we have met where there's two creeks that go into a main creek, and this is one of the ridges, and it's dropping into the next ridge right over here behind me. Literally from right here where the cameraman is, or girl, there's a trail that drops down behind her, and it goes down to this little feeder creek, There's another trail right here, and there's actually a trail that hugs the edge of this, and it goes up on the knob on the other side of the creek. Definitely deer trail. If you see right here, I got a nice deer track, and you can see where they come down in here quite a bit. Where we jumped that bedded deer is literally less than 150 yards up this creek. So anything, any buck, any doe that's concealed enough, we're in between two bedding areas, going in between two sides of each ridge. It's a pretty good idea to bust out the camera and set one up. I know I told you guys I haven't been using cameras, and I haven't. This is my first year back using cameras. I'm going cell phone cameras. Jarrett and I decided to get these Moultrie cameras. These are really good. This is an X series. We've just found them to have really good service out here in the National Forest and a lot of places that I don't normally get service. That being said, this is our go-to camera this year. Put my antenna on. The camera's already set. So I got a trail here, and a trail coming that way. It's probably smarter to set this thing up to where I can see anything coming down, because this does have standing water in it. It's not stagnant either, and there's not a lot of pig sign. So I really, really like that a lot about this spot. I'm thinking maybe this tree over here with a little bit of an elbow facing anything coming out. But what I don't like is it's not going to get anything coming down that trail up there. Maybe if I just break over some beauty berries like that. Maybe use this one here. Alright guys, so we set the camera. We're about 200 yards, and I'm following this trail. As you can see, it's pretty defined. It runs to the right side of this pine tree. And if you look, here's a good track. This is a deer wedgie that comes out from in between their hooves when they're walking. It sits in there, and when they step, it falls out. But nice little 3-finger wide deer track going towards the bedding area where we set the camera. And down in the creek we had doe and fawn tracks. I didn't see any buck tracks. But if that camera doesn't prevail what we want to see, it's not a lot of space in here. It's going to be a quick picture, but we can definitely set up a camera in here and get a picture of this guy. Let's see if we can find a bed. Alright guys, so hot, we're sweaty, it's 9:20. It's that good old East Texas weather for you. Guys up north, I'm a little jealous. I'd rather be hiking in 50, 70 degree weather. Anyways, we only set one camera. We really didn't see a lot of good sign, and honestly there was no human sign where we found the bedding area, but all the human sign was actually going towards where I originally thought I wanted to hunt. So we got a camera 450 yards off the road. Pretty good easy hike, I think. It's not gonna be bad. There's some thick spots, but we'll see what happens. We ran into a couple deer, jumped some deer out of beds, found some beds, found some heavily used trails, definitely heavily browsed on the beauty berries in here. So no acorns yet that I saw. So y'all stay tuned, man. Hopefully we can get some more cameras up here in the next couple days and see what we can come up with. Alright guys, thanks for tuning along on my scout in the Sam Houston National Forest. This was literally just taken yesterday. I did a live question and answer on Sam Houston National Forest page. Go check it out if you didn't get to tune along or haven't already. It's got plenty of great information on hunting the Sam Houston National Forest. The next and most important thing I want to do is give you guys some content worth looking at. I'm going to jump right into a couple hunts. The first one's going to be with Jamie to give you a little background on this hunt. Jamie and I went out hunting, I want to say it was mid-November, pretty much peak rut for us out here in the Sam Houston National Forest, and everything went pretty good. And we saw some animals. We just didn't get anything done. We waited a few days and decided to go back out, her and I, and we snuck down this creek. And all of a sudden, I see these fresh pig tracks, and I'm sitting here like, man, this pig can't be far. They were so fresh. And well, check this out. Hold on, don't move. Don't move. He's right on the right side. Come on. Step over here. Step over here. No leaves. He's right in the middle of the creek. You see him? On the right side. He don't move. He's looking right at you. He's on the right side of the creek. Those two black legs on the right side of the creek. You see him? Okay. Yeah. Get ready to shoot him. He's looking right at you, so get it up now. Now. Cock the hammer back. Whenever you're ready. Shoot him right between the eyes. Hold on. Now. Don't move, don't move. Alright guys, so Jamie shot a pig, you'll see in the video, and we heard it burn off through here. He didn't see no blood, but we knew he came up the creek back this way a little bit. I told her I'm gonna start walking this way. You just kind of look down the creek, and she kept going, and I think I found my pig. So we're gonna go check and see if he's dead. She's a little scared of him, so let's go see.
I'm not scared, I just like him to poke it in the butt and make sure it's dead.
That's a giant
I shot a pig, bro.
Kind of scary looking.
And I found